Welcome to No One Asked, the podcast where we talk about things literally no one asked us about.
We're two friends, two realtors, and way too many opinions.
Life, real estate, and whatever chaos shows up.
No one asked, but we're saying it anyway.
Today, no one asked, but
we are here with something I'm super excited about. We have decided to have a rabbit hole, and this is just holds several topics because you and I always do so much better just improvise, no script. When we have a script,
we flub up.
We sound ridiculous. And so we're going to draw our topic.
So we just have a bunch of topics in this, and every podcast we're just going to
draw one out.
Yep. Go with it.
Until some of our listeners want to send us in some topics, this is how we're going to roll. So Julie, you can do the honors.
Rabbit hole. Today, we're going to talk about something HGTV completely ruined for our buyers.
Okay, so I could probably talk about this all day long because I do talk about this a lot. Since HGTV has become so popular, everybody and their brother has watched it. They all have these expectations. Mm-hmm. And I mean, there's so many different shows that give you a different perspective, but none of them are really true to form.
No. And I used to watch HGTV all the time before getting my real estate license. And once I got into real estate, I was like, forget that. This is crap. Like, I don't want to watch this. It's not real life.
I'm kind of glad that they didn't have it before I got mine.
Even reality TV, like all these shows.
They're not real.
I do watch those, but
I don't really.
I do. And I love the meme or whatever it is where it says they work at a crayon factory and then they sell cookies on the street and
their budget's $5.7 million. Can we have it 80,000 somewhere? Where's that at?
Right.
Yeah.
Where's the fixer-upper that,
And they don't go through any of the processes. So, first of all, the expectation of what your approval is going to be is just insane. Most people, the first time they're buying a home, is not going to have a budget of 5.7 or 550.
No. Have you ever been contacted by HGTV? I was contacted not by HGTV, but something about the lake property hunters or something like that.
I have not, in fact, been
I thought
contacted.
It was a scam,
Because you think everything's
if
anyone messages Julie with weird wording, it's a scam.
It's a scam. And so I emailed them or I called them. And what they wanted was for me to get to, well, first of all, we're not a lake community. No, I think
PB Lake.
Right. I get a client that I had sold a lake property to, and then line up two other lake properties. So basically they'd already had the house bought or living in it. Like that's how they were working that. So I was just pretending to show them houses.
And so they were going to have to be great actors.
Right.
So not only did you have to find a past client who bought, but they had to be good at acting as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is a scam. This is a scam. Like, this is not.
Julie's scam alert be going off. I did not ever get a call like that. So that's, obviously proof that at least that show was scripted.
Right. And they're all going to be scripted. But I mean, let's do real life. Let's take somebody from start to finish.
Right. And especially even the pre-approval process.
Right.
No, not everybody's just like, oh yeah, I know my budget. I know what I can do. This is where we're going to go. Mm-mm. And then let's talk about 3 houses. They look at 3. Mm-hmm. They pick one of 3. How many clients have you showed more than 3 houses to?
Oh, yeah.
Almost
single one.
All of them.
Every single one. I just don't understand. And I get it. It's made for TV. I get that. But reality is that you need to get pre-approved. You need to make sure that your budget is something that you can live with. And you don't want them to be house poor. And house poor is like where every single penny you earn goes towards your house payment. There's no extra money for anything else.
Like you may have the best house that you could afford, the most magnificent thing that's in your price range, but you're taking everything you have to make that payment. So when we say house poor, we mean that you have a great house.
And you're eating ramen noodles.
Absolutely. Every day.
And maybe cereal, and that's it. There's been times that I've had clients that were approved for a certain budget, and I'm like, oh my gosh, they're going to be house poor in a year.
And when you know that, and you try to baby step them with it, but they still, it's ultimately their decision.
Yeah.
And you just really hope that they rally and can do it, because the last thing you want to see is it to be gone.
I've done that before, and it was not fun.
Me too.
Not fun.
And, so absolutely, because just because a client's or customer is pre-approved for an amount doesn't mean that they're comfortable with that, because it doesn't take into the consideration their spending habits. So, definitely you need to get pre-approved and know what that amount's going to be.
Do they take them through the inspection process and stuff like that?
I don't think so. Realistically, a buyer is going to look at more than 3 houses.
Right.
I mean, every now and then, you may walk in and show them one house, they're like, oh, this is it.
Yeah.
And it actually happens.
But these are people that have usually been searching online for a while before they even take that step. Right. To really look at a house.
Yeah, and you'll have some clients who are analytical who go through all the things before they even call you. But the likelihood that someone's only going to look at 3 and then feel like they have to make a decision on those 3. Like, they're not going to look at Zillow and see what else comes up. They're just going to take these 3 and decide from that.
And what I always think is funny about HGTV is that then the realtor meets them at a restaurant.
Just sit down and go over it. Oh, let us order and spend 4 hours here.
Right, when I could be making this offer and negotiating for you instead of being like, oh, so what you think of house number 1? Let's have some wine.
Let's make our pros and cons list. No, you can tell them to do that. But that needs, if it's a couple or if it's someone alone, whatever, that's something they need to do themselves
privately
and not with our input. They could ask us questions or advice, but ultimately this is their decision. We're not going to sit there and go, hey, I'm going to stare at you while you make this decision. No, we're not going to do that.
And do they sometimes, maybe they go through the inspection process, maybe they touch on it, maybe I
think that may be a different reality show. I think that's Love It or List It, maybe, where they inspect the house.
I do kind of like that.
I do too.
Yeah,
I like it because it is bringing up all the problems and all the things, but just the typical reality shows. But the thing is, if you're whatever house you buy, it's not going to be perfect. There's not a perfect house, even new construction, although we love for it to be perfect and there's a warranty with it and it's a good thing. Every house, could have something that comes up. So, I don't think it prepares buyers that, hey, you're going to have some things come up. This is normal. You have to decide what you can live with and what you can't. It just doesn't give them that realistic perspective that, hey, we may find out that there's fungal growth in the crawl space. Oh, that means we can't buy this. Okay, no, that can be treated. You can find out the reason for that, whatever. But I just don't feel like it prepares people well for anything like that. It
just sets these unrealistic expectations that house buying is easy. And while when you have a good team on your side, it can be stress-free, but there are certain things with the aspects with it, like there's time limits that we're all under, that we all have to meet. Yes. There are deadlines. You have to be responsive to your lender and
your agent
and to us. Yeah.
This one hits home a little bit closer right now. You have to respond to me on these things because everything is in a timely manner. It's on the contracts that are signed. And that's
our job, to make sure like everything keeps moving forward. And if there's any bumps in the roads, like that's our job to make sure we can smooth it out,
Well, that's something else those shows do. They act like the agent's like, oh, let us go look at houses. And you pick out your decision and let's just write it. And then boom, we're at closing.
Right.
That is absolutely not how that goes.
No.
And again, versus real life. But the biggest thing with me on they walk into these homes that are staged well. They look good. They look like they're modern, unless it's like a flip it show or something. But they look like, no one's living there currently, like an Airbnb looks. It looks like, oh, these are perfect. No, especially in our area, when you walk into most of these houses, people are still living there.
Correct.
In this day and age, it's very hard to buy a home and then move and then sell your home and have it empty. I mean, it happens. It does happen, but it is a lot harder. So you're walking into someone's house. So what if they have 5 kids? It's not going to be spotless.
They're still living in it.
They are still living in it. So I think for me too, it just gives an unrealistic representation of what the house should look like. Now, yes, we want them to look great. We want them to be amazing. We want them to look like no one lives there. And that's where we get into where we start staging, after some feedback and stuff like that. But that to me is one of the bigger items with it. Let me go back again to what I was saying about the agent responsibilities. They act like, hey, you show the house, you write the offer, and then it's done.
And we're done.
There is so much more that we do.
I mean, you're right. Like, show behind the scenes of like, I just went through this when there was not a clear title and my client was trying to buy this house and the seller didn't have a clear title. Like, are we going to go to a closing? I don't know. Can we get this title cleared? Like, show the behind the scenes of all that and what we do, what we're involved with that.
Or like with the negotiations, like it does show negotiations sometimes, but they don't tell you the what ifs. What if you decide, what if there is a bidding war and you raise your price above asking price? Well, what does that mean if it doesn't appraise? People don't think about that.
Right.
But the appraisal is an important part. The title is an important part. The inspections are a super important part. Everything that we do is equally important. And I think buyers need to understand what that means for them, as well as the sellers. Like, I have one recently that multiple offers, I guess. They went with a higher one, but that was with a different loan product. And so there's going to be different hurdles to jump over, and that's fine. Absolutely, it's their choice. But there's a whole lot of decision making that goes into which offer you accept too. So I think both sides of it, they lose a little bit of important factors with that.
So HGTV, like it or hate it?
I do like Love It or List It.
I do like
that.
That
is one that I
love
I
it.
do.
Was it Love It or List It?
Yes.
Yeah.
I do like that one. But the budget's on that one though. And I wonder how they come up with how the budget they have to spend on the renovations. That's a sidebar thing. But I do like that one. But the selling,
like the whole aspect of like looking at property and going to make an offer, and
I don't think they're
buyers.
Realistic.
No, they're not.
I would love to do a day in the life for us so people can see what we do to show the properties and how we get from, hey, this is our first meeting to, hey, we're at closing. I would love for someone to show a real situation.
We need a whole like production company following us around. Teresa.
Yes, Teresa. we were a 2-woman
Your
show.
sister.
We were a 2-woman show, and now we do have my sister behind the scenes helping out.
Yep.
So that's always a good thing. But yeah, that's what I would love to do, is to have a real show. Maybe we could try that sometime.
Maybe. I think we could do it.
I think so. It'd be interesting.
So I guess at the end of the day, we're not huge fans of HGTV. It can be entertaining, but it's not real life.
I think it's more entertaining by saying, oh my goodness, are you serious? Is that what they're doing right now?
Yeah.
And that's nothing against them. It's just personally coming from my perspective. It's not something I enjoy watching.
Right. So let's see. Next time, we're going to pull from
the rabbit
hole.
Yes, we have all kinds of topics in there that we just were kind of jotting down to see things that we wanted to talk about. And if any of our listeners would like to add a topic, feel free to comment, send us a message, and we'll be happy to add that to the rabbit hole as well. Until next time, no one asked,
but we're saying it anyway.
Well, we said what we said.
We'll do it again next time. No one asked.